Welcome to Purchase Broadcast News. I'm your host, Jahmari Bradshaw. Today we're taking a closer look at a club on campus that's been fighting for more than just wins in the ring. The Purchase College Boxing Club is a dedicated group of students committed to discipline, fitness, and community. But behind their passion lies a problem that's gone undressed for years. Club members say their training space is in serious disrepair, unsanitary, outdated, and overlooked. They believe it's time the campus gave this club this attention it deserves. Let's take a look at the training and the condition of the space they're forced to work with. In this small, tucked away gym on campus, the energy is undeniable. The sounds of gloves hitting the pads and feet shuffling across the floor fill the air. Members of the Purchase Boxing Club train here once a week, building strength, technique, and camaraderie. For these students, boxing is more than just a workout. It's a discipline, a stress reliever, and for some, even a future career path. Despite the club's unofficial status, they've built a strong sense of community and consistency in their training. But behind the punches and passion lies a growing frustration. This is the space that they call their gym. Cracked walls, rusted vents, aging equipment, and stained floors are just part of the daily environment. Some of the gear is barely held together, and students often have to clean the space themselves just to make it usable. Club members say they brought their concerns to administration repeatedly, but with little to no response. As the years go by, the conditions haven't improved, and new issues keep piling up. They worry not only about the safety, but also the message it sends when student-led clubs are left to train in such neglect. Today we're joined by two long-standing members of the boxing club, Nathan Collazo and Sanjay Seejattan-Forrester, who have witnessed the slow deterioration of the space. They'll be sharing their stories. Nice to have you, gentlemen.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
All right. So to start off first, how has your experience in the boxing club been since starting?
You go first.
It's been pretty good. I've enjoyed it. I've been doing it for about 4 years now, so this is my 4th year. The people are good. The coach is great. The workouts are hard. It feels fulfilling, but yeah, as you were saying, the facility is very decrepit. There was a time, my first year, where we had 3 punching bags, and the room was also cleaned semi-recently and frequently, and now there's 0 punching bags as they've all broken off the chain and no one has come and fixed them. So yeah.
And well, this is my first year relatively, but I've been introduced to it like since last year. So like, the room looks like excessively almost horrible, depending on like certain situations when included. Like if you need to sweep, you need to like clean the home floors if you plan to do anything else except boxing, like MMA or like wrestling and stuff like that. But besides that, it's more or less just like, it just needs to be cleaned and like cleaned by people that are not us, that have the capability of repairing and cleaning the room itself. So yeah.
Right. So it actually answered the next question of how do you feel personally about the sanitary conditions? It's obviously, as you could tell, it's gotten worse throughout the years. So is there like any maybe other possible comparisons maybe you've seen compared to your first? You know, you've been here for 4 years, so maybe it might have been different before.
Yeah, it used to be. I mean, it used to be pretty clean. People would sweep it up, but not people like they would have the janitor team come through. They don't have that anymore. The janitor team doesn't go through there. And we had the bags, obviously, and we had more pads. We had more gloves. We're missing basically everything now. And also, that room is used as a storage room for sometimes. So sometimes we go in there and there's just, a lot of the school's overflow of clothes or other things like that. So not great about the sanitary conditions, but it's fine.
It's not fine. Actually, it's not fine at all. It's actually more disgusting than anything, because when you are trying to like work out and do stuff and like move with your body in ways that most people usually don't move, like imagine doing bear crawls against a floor that usually isn't wet or usually isn't like infected. So you're essentially touching all the germs that have been there. So in fact, when you are actively like working yourself to the bone and you already have so many conditions, that might include you being sick or having to take a day off based off the fact that, hey, no one has swept these things and nobody has done like anything to really clean anything except us. So it really poses a deeper problem when it comes down to it, when it comes to health and safety, when you think about it.
Okay. Do you think that there's probably more let's say, I guess, more attention and recognition to other clubs that might take place around the building? Like, there's more focus on them more than boxing club, despite its longevity also?
I mean, yeah, I would think so. I mean, I don't know about other clubs, that's the thing, because I'm not really joined those clubs, but it really does feel like I'm staring at a bunch of people, like, drowning while I'm dying of thirst when you really think about it. So, yeah.
I mean, I can't really speak on it. I don't know anything about the other clubs. I've done some of the other clubs, certain clubs I was put into for people who sign me up for it and stuff. And for the most part, they don't really need funding because it's not a super intensive thing of things to do. It's just mostly talking, or it's meeting up, or it's food or whatever. But yeah, as Nathan was saying about the gym, the fact that it's a place where people sweat, it's a place where people move a lot, and sometimes people have bled, so like other things like that. It's a place that really needs to be cleaned a lot to prevent ringworm, prevent other stuff like that, just general sickness. And it's a miracle that hasn't happened yet.
I can also agree on that. So, let's say if you guys did have the authority, like if you were the person who runs this, like in their shoes, so you having the power to do whatever in that athletics building, what exactly do you think should be done to possibly get more attention from the faculty? Or what, let's say, would you do as far as funding? Like, how would you be able to provide the funding to the club in order to make it better?
Yeah, I think the main thing that we can do on the campus, because like legally and financially, obviously for many of us, but legally we can't really affect the room. We can't bring in things to change it, or we can't screw things in, or we can't refix things or whatever. Somebody else has to come in and do that. So I guess to an extent it's not really something that we should be on our plate to do, but at the same time it is our room, it's the one we're working with. But when there's bigger things and the solution that's given to this by the school is not to fix it yourself, but to tell us being the school, that there's a problem, and then we tell them there's a problem. We've been telling them there's a problem for a while now, and they haven't done anything about it, but yeah.
Yeah. It's basically what he's saying, but like in more like, I guess in my sort of depth. When you know how to fix things and you know how to like put screws and stuff, because I did construction for a little bit. When you know how to do that sort of stuff and like actively repair certain situations or repair like certain rooms, you tend to be like frustrated with the fact that you can't, due to the fact that, hey, you have to talk with somebody, or hey, you need to put in a work order, even though that work order will take some time for it to work in. So it's just, it's effectively holding you back too when you think about it. So if like I had the power to actually like talk to somebody and somebody will get that done, I would effectively be like, why don't we reconstruct the room to more of like a service that helps us being able to repair it for ourselves? But I know that's kind of like unreachable, but why not?
Right. I know for the students, they can't really do much as far as speak to the faculty, but there's not even much neglect for the coach either, right? And he's the only one that runs it.
Yeah.
That's true. There's only one adult, more adult authority figure there.
Yeah.
So yeah, nobody else really helps out.
Yeah, he has more power for sure, but like still he can only do so much when it comes regularly to it. So like he can ask, he can like tell, he can like do whatever he needs to do, but in reality it's up to the school. We don't really have power like that.
Right. Why do you think it's taking so long for the club to get the recognition it deserves? Although there might be similar issues with their own clubs as far as recognition and whatnot, but boxing club seems like to be getting the worse end of the stick, if you know.
You wanna go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Well, I think it's pretty easy to say why it's. I mean, the school's a business. We don't bring in any revenue. There's no incentive for them to want to fix it. You know, it's not like they're losing anything by not fixing it. And you know, when it's not that they're meeting with the people at boxing club and saying, oh, we're taking away, or we're not giving money to these people. It's just a thing on a list probably where it's like, oh, well, we can't really give money out to all these things, so these 5 things got to go, or we can't support, and boxing could be one of those things, you know? So, I mean, yeah, the pool is never going to be in that situation. The basketball court's never going to be in that situation. The tennis courts aren't going to be in this situation, and that's because we play those sports as a school to other places, which makes sense. But we don't box. We don't have a boxing team. We don't have an MMA team. We don't have a wrestling team. We don't have any sort of physical activity team. that doesn't have to do with a sport that involves, you know, a ball or swimming or that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's no revenue source for it, and that probably incentivizes them not to fix it because it's just putting $600, $800, whatever, to fix it up into a hole in their mind that it's a hole that they're not going to get that money back, even if things are fixed now.
Yeah. And I suppose if, like, when it comes down to it, if they had, like, a chance to really fix something like that, for me being hopeful, I would be like, why don't we just make a team ourselves? Why don't we just do this and, like, actually try and compete with other schools like that? And as a team, I think we would do well. However, we will never be able to get that chance because they're more focused on other sports relatively. When it comes to like basketball or volleyball or stuff, nobody really wants to be hit in the face like that. Nobody wants to be able to like think and like dodge through other people's attacks like that. Nobody wants to put like their safety on the line like that for fun. We're just built different. So it's like, you know how it is. But like, that's the reason, because like, nobody wants to be hurt, but nobody wants to train to dodge other people either. They just think that they can fight when in reality they can't.
I mean, do you think maybe some sort of like an attention or more attention could be brought, let's say, because clearly this frustrates all of the members in there. So it's like, maybe if this was brought more attention, like maybe on a more frequent or consistent basis, possibly by chance, maybe like a petition of some sort, maybe to like raise more awareness to the club.
Yeah.
It could work, but like, would it benefit like the school? Because like, comparatively, we understand that maybe we are less beneficiary to other people, like to other like systems within the school, because like we only buy our own equipment when it comes down to the fact. We don't buy the school's equipment, we don't use the school's equipment. They don't buy the equipment for us to use so we can compete. So it's more or less just we're self-funding ourselves and them just putting money into it without any output. So it's like it causes issues relatively. So it might work for sure, but do I think it will work in the long term? Possibly not.
Okay. One more question before we wrap up. Where do you see the conditions of boxing club in, let's say, maybe 5 years down the line or so?
I mean, where do I hope it's going to be, or where do I think it's going to be?
Yeah, what do you hope it's going to be?
I hope it's fixed. I hope they put up stuff. I mean, I'm graduating, so it won't be my thing, but I hope it's fixed. I hope they start cleaning it. I hope they have some more incentive, and I hope they allow the club to be promoted more around campus and stuff like that for people to come. Because I know a lot of the people that came were just people I met or other people met in their classes and said, hey, there's a boxing club, and then that person comes, and now they've been doing it for years, you know? So, yeah.
I hope it gets fixed for sure. Like, I hope people clean it much more, and I hope people like work on it, and I hope people like find a way to reinstate like those 3 punching bags that have been knocked down by random people. I'm also realistic in the terms of like realizing that it may not happen. So it's like they might abandon the whole entire gym entirely, or perhaps they already have. We'll never know, because that's the decisions of some people we will never talk to. So it's more or less just like, well, what initiative can we take to make this more accessible to other people so we can get the recognition? You get me? So that's how I reckon that will work out.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for your time and for your answers. And I'm your host, Jahmari Bradshaw, and this has been Purchase Broadcast Studios.